My daughter's attitude towards me became cold and harsh as she started high school. Someone ugly like you is not my real parent. Get out! With those words from my daughter, I reached my limit and finally decided to leave home. Living in this house with these people was too much. That's what I was waiting for. The annoying hag is finally leaving. Hearing my own daughter call me ugly and tell me to leave without a second thought was devastating. In that moment, I made a decision. I have one last thing to tell you before I go. The shocking truth I revealed left my daughter dumbfounded. Little did she know that her mother's words would so drastically change her life. My name is Emily. I live with my husband Steve and our daughter Ashley. How was school, Ashley? Same as always. Can you stop asking me every single day? Ashley has been like this lately. You don't have to be so rude. I reprimanded her, but she just glares at me. Ashley's attitude towards me has noticeably changed since she started high school. Mom, you're a housewife with nothing else to do. Why don't you go out and work? Even though I became a full-time housewife at the request of my often absent husband, so Ashley wouldn't feel lonely, I get harsh words in return. I'm sure this rebellious phase will pass eventually. I regained my composure and went back to preparing dinner. Ugh, that girl at school, she's so annoying. Ashley's rebellious phase is far from being over. She even started ranting about her friends from school. I wonder if she behaves like this at school too. Did something happen at school? Shut up, you hag! I was worried and tried to talk to Ashley, but she yelled back at me. Recently, she started calling me names like ugly or pig. It's true, Ashley is tall and beautiful. She stands out wherever she goes. But beauty is no excuse for demeaning others. I have tried to talk to her about her behavior, but she just won't listen. I guess there's no point in trying to have a rational conversation with her right now. With that in mind, I stopped talking to Ashley any further. I wonder how long this rebellious phase will last. Is it like this with other kids too? With these thoughts in mind, I decided to make Ashley's favorite spaghetti for dinner, hoping to lighten her mood. Ashley, dinner is ready. I called out to Ashley, who was lying on the living room sofa, engrossed in her smartphone. Ashley slowly got up and shuffled towards the dining table. She looked over the dishes I had prepared on the table. Today I've made your favorite, Ashley. Wait, what are you doing? To my dismay, Ashley started throwing away the food I had made into the garbage can. The dish I had cooked with love, hoping to make Ashley smile, was now pitifully discarded in the trash. How could I stomach the food made by an ugly woman? Ashley said, glowering at me. Up until now, I had been giving her a pass, thinking it's just teenage rebellion, but this time I couldn't let it slide. Ashley, enough is enough. What you're doing is wrong as a person. Unable to bear it any longer, I raised my voice at Ashley for the first time. Oh, just shut up, you hag. However, Ashley refused to listen, treating me like an old maid. Can you say something to Ashley, please? I pleaded for help from my husband, who was watching TV, but he just ignored me. I'm tired from work. Leave me alone, he muttered without taking his eyes off the TV. At this, I felt utter despair. I realized my husband was no help. Leaving Ashley like this would turn her into a troubled adult. With this in mind, I continued my lecture, without flinching at Ashley's verbal abuse. Seeing me behave differently than usual, Ashley escalated her foul language. You're not my mother, you hag! Get out! She sneered. What do you mean? You're not my mother? I've been acting cool for the past 3 years, thinking her rebellious phase would end someday. But I've reached my limit. My husband, who is in the same space as us, does not give me a hand. As always. He leaves everything related to Ashley to me, ignoring our daughter's defiance toward her mother, even though she is his own child. I am disappointed in my husband too. I can't live with these people in this house any longer. Fine, I'll leave. I calmly told Ashley and headed for my room. Lucky me. The nagging hag is finally leaving, said Ashley, who started to cheer, oblivious to my feelings.
Whoa, wait, what are you doing?
My husband finally sensed the situation and rushed over. She's leaving, apparently. Ashley informed him, then returned to her usual spot on the living room couch. I stood in front of my husband, looked him straight in the eye, and conveyed my decision. I'm divorcing you, and I'm leaving this house.
Wait, please, not that. Please reconsider.
Whether my resolve was coming across, my husband Steve started to panic, albeit a bit too late. You don't feel anything, even when I'm belittled by Ashley, do you? I've been enduring it all this time, but it's now unbearable to even stay in this house. The idea of the three of us living happily together was only in my mind, it seems.
I'm sorry, so let's not talk about divorce.
Isn't it great, Dad? Just kick her out already, haha. Ashley, who was lounging on the sofa laughing, addressed her desperate father who was trying to keep me from leaving. I began to question where I went wrong with raising her. Memories of us baking cookies together and going shopping for clothes. All the memories with her flashed back. She used to help me carry heavy things, taking care of me. She was such a kind child back then. The Ashley in my memories, with her innocent smile, isn't the Ashley in front of me now. She openly belittles me, calling me ugly, and tells me to leave without any remorse. I feel utterly hopeless and make a certain decision. Ashley, you're now 18. You're considered an adult in society. Make sure you understand that your actions have consequences. And there's one last thing I have to tell you. What now? Gonna give me a lecture as your final act? Haha. Still sprawled out on the sofa, Ashley smirked as she played with her phone.
Hey, are you going to say it now?
Steve was desperate to stop me, but I brushed his hand away and stood in front of Ashley. Ashley, you're not my real daughter. Ashley's hand stopped playing with her phone. I'm short and plain looking, unlike you. It's because you're not my biological daughter. According to your father, you look very much like your birth mother, both in looks and character. Isn't that nice? Oh, so that's it? I'm so glad you're not my real mom. Although Ashley tried to appear calm, she was clearly flustered. I ignored her and continued with the story. Steve divorced his ex-wife just before Ashley turned 1, so she likely doesn't remember anything about her biological mother. When Ashley was around 6 months old while Steve was at work, her biological mother would bring men home and cheat on him despite Ashley being there. The divorce was due to the infidelity of his ex-wife, and because she renounced her parental rights, Steve took custody of Ashley. But he was busy with work and lacked confidence to balance work and childcare. That's when I was dispatched to Steve's home as a housekeeper. I had a childcare license and used to work in a daycare center. I was looking for a new job after I had quit due to back pain. I thought I couldn't work with children anymore, but I got the chance to do so in an unexpected way. Unlike at the daycare center, I could give all my love to one child. I cherished Ashley as if she were my own and enjoyed my work every day. Steve trusted me, and later we got married and became a real family. As I recalled those nostalgic days, I quietly spoke. But that honest and kind Ashley is gone. You now resemble your real mother, both in looks and character. Only caring about looks, belittling people, calling them ugly or fat, being self-centered, and ignoring everything around you. When your father sees you now, it reminds him of his ex-wife, and instead of feeling affection, he feels hatred. You're lying, right? Dad, you don't hate your real daughter, do you? Upon hearing my story, Ashley turned to Steve for confirmation, but he just looked down in silence.
You should leave too, Ashley. As your mother said, I can't feel anything but hatred for the current you. You're the spitting image of the woman who betrayed our family.
Steve spoke while looking down. His voice was feeble and his back trembled as if recalling painful memories. Upon seeing my husband's state, Ashley fully understood her position and began to panic. I hate this! I consider you my real mother! I want to live together just as we have been! What are you saying now? You're an adult now. Remember what I said about taking responsibility for your actions.
I retorted, pushing away a tearful Ashley. Then I returned to my room, packed my bags, and left the house. To calm myself, I aimlessly wandered the night streets for a while. Looking up, I saw the stars shining brightly. How did things end up this way? The stars disappeared for a while as I cried, but after a good cry, my tears stopped, and the stars were still shining brightly. Things that don't change remain the same no matter what. With that thought, I felt a little better. Since it was already late, I decided to stay at a nearby business hotel for the night. The following morning, I headed for my parents' home. There, I explained the situation and decided to stay with them for a while. 17 years ago, my parents were adamantly opposed to me marrying a divorced man with a child. Nevertheless, I managed to persuade my parents and married him. Over time, my parents began to love Ashley as their own granddaughter. Because of this, the recent events disappointed my aging parents, and I felt genuinely sorry for them. There's a lot to life. You've done your best for your family so far. Live more freely from now on. My mother said so and accepted me. Once back at my parents' home, I immediately began the divorce process through a lawyer. Thanks to a skilled lawyer, the process went smoothly. My husband Steve showed no reluctance to divorce, and so it was finalized within a month. Emily, I'm really sorry. You're not Ashley's real mother, but you raised her with so much love. I should face Ashley properly, but I can't. Steve said over the phone the day before we submitted the divorce papers. The emotional scars from being betrayed by his ex-wife still painfully lingered within Steve. Unable to accept Ashley, who reminded him of his ex-wife, he renounced custody of her. And so, Ashley was to be placed in a foster home. Ashley could never have imagined that her life would change so drastically with just one word from her. After I left, Ashley began to send apology messages from Messenger. If you're repentant, take responsibility for your words and actions from now on and change your ways. However, I couldn't help but sympathize with the message Ashley sent on the day she entered the foster home. Mom, I'm really sorry. I'm lonely. I miss you. Remembering Ashley from her kinder, more lovable days, I couldn't help but shed tears. Work hard to find your own happiness. I responded, pouring all my feelings into the short reply. But that was probably a mistake. A few days later, Ashley started sending complaints about how there were no cute kids around her, or how her friends were all unattractive. Nothing has changed. I felt disheartened. You won't make any friends that way. When I said that, she replied with, I don't need ugly friends. I can't deal with Ashley anymore. I finally blocked her on Messenger. 3 months passed and it was March 8th. In my room, bathed in the warmth of spring, I was staring at the calendar. Today was the day I became Ashley's mom. Back then, I couldn't have imagined that 17 years later, I would be in this situation. I was just envisioning a bright and happy future spent with my family. Since Ashley didn't change her ways, even after entering the facility and I blocked her on Messenger, I knew nothing about her. But the other day, I heard from my ex-husband that Ashley would be leaving the facility in March. Blocked by me on Messenger, she probably doesn't care at all. She might have completely forgotten about me. I thought we're strangers now, but I just couldn't see Ashley, who I raised like my own child for 17 years, as a stranger. Once she leaves the facility, I'll probably never see Ashley again. Although a mix of emotions surged within me, I decided to go to the facility to see Ashley one last time because I wanted to see her face again. The staff at the facility understood our situation well and welcomed me kindly. As I waited in the office, I saw Ashley returning from school. Is that you, Ashley? The height, the physique, it was definitely Ashley. However, her hair, which used to be silky, was now messy, and her face looked worn out with dark circles under her eyes, where she used to apply glittery makeup daily. Ashley has been attending psychiatric treatment due to various circumstances. The facility staff informed me about her past 3 months. Apparently, after she lost contact with me, Ashley felt truly abandoned by her parents and became emotionally unstable. Moreover, she had always done as she pleased, but being forced to live life under strict rules of the facility stressed her out and seemed to have taken a toll on her mental health. Is that so? Even after hearing the explanation from the staff, I surprisingly felt no sympathy for Ashley. Rather, I was relieved that she finally realized her situation. I left the facility without meeting Ashley. Ashley's appearance has changed, but I wondered if her heart had changed too. No, people don't change that easily. Once she leaves the facility, she will have to live on her own. I hope she reflects on herself and changes, even a bit. A year later, I am living my life to the fullest, caring for my elderly parents at our family home and working part-time. The other day, the hairdresser was surprised at how shiny my hair was. Apparently, I am stress-free after being liberated from Ashley and my ex-husband. Back then, I was constantly considering Ashley's mood and being careful around my ex-husband, who was the breadwinner, striving to be a good family. I never thought it was stressful, but the body tells the truth. Now my health has improved a lot, and I find myself naturally smiling every day. "I'm glad you came back," my mom said, and I truly felt the warmth of my real family. From now on, I'll live without pushing myself. I decided in my heart to live by cherishing myself and those who care about me, and also caring for the people around me.